Your taxes support this channel.
Welcome to another video. Today we are talking about sharks. We're going to be playing sharks in the Duelist Cup, so make sure you stick around to see that. But before we talk about sharks in Master Duel, we're going to be talking about sharks in TCG. What you're looking at right now is a topping shark deck list in TCG from the Sydney TCG event, which happened recently, last week. So we're going to take a look at this, talk about the cards that are in here that aren't in Master Duel yet. I'll show you the new cards that are going to boost sharks to top tier status, and then after that we'll be playing some games in the Duelist Cup, so stick around for that. So what is making sharks top tier? You know sharks, it's all about getting your water XYZs on the field. Problems with sharks right now, especially in Master Duel, we're missing some of the key shark cards, including Toad, who is banned. Not going to be able to play Toad if you're playing in Master Duel. So what is making sharks really hot right now? And you're going to see the main deck looks pretty similar to normal shark deck you'd see. We got two new cards here, Armored XZ and Full Armored XZ. In the extra deck, we got some spicy cards in here that are new, XZ Armored Fortress and some other XZs that should be coming out soon in Master Duel, because you know the rest of the cards from this set are already out. Let's go on to the first card, XYZ Armored Fortress. All right, rank 5 generic. It is water though, which means when you water lock yourself with your sharks, you're not going to have trouble summoning this. XZ Armor Fortress, when it's summoned, it has 2 materials. It doesn't do anything, but you can detach up to 2 materials and add 2 armored spell trap cards to your hand from your deck. And what cards you're searching? You're searching Armored XZ, which is a spell, and you're going to search Full Armored XZ, which is a trap. So let's get to those later. All right, you've summoned your Armor Fortress. What do you do now? You detach 2 materials. He's got no materials now. You search your spell, you search your trap, and now you're going to rank it up into Full Armored Crystal Zero Lancer. This card lets you rank it up with a rank 5 Water XZ monster. And now you're going to detach an XZ material, and all face-up monsters your opponent controls have their effects negated till the end of the turn. Your opponent just got negated. You Dark Ruler no more them. They cannot activate their effects this turn. All their monsters shut off. So if opponent had interaction, they're going to have to use it at this point. Otherwise, they're not going to get to use it at all. Also, one thing to note, all right, you don't have to make this and search for your spells. If your opponent has a bunch of negates that are going to destroy, you can make this with 2 materials. And if this card is going to be destroyed, you can detach them as a material from it instead. So you have an option of just going straight into this with a bunch of materials, stopping it from being destroyed and eating up one of your opponent's negates to kind of try and test their whole board. So very powerful. Also, again, Water XZ. All right, now you've negated their whole board. What are you going to do next? You're going to punish them by ranking up again into the Full Armor Dark Knight Lancer. Now this card, all right, says you can rank up. So that's its first effect. You can rank it up with a rank 5 or 6 XZ monster. So you rank it up from your Crystal Zero Lancer, or you can just go straight into it from the Armor Fortress. And what are you going to do with this card? Well, it says once per turn, if it's an equipped spell is equipped to a monster you control, you can attach a monster your opponent controls to this card. It's going to eat opponent's cards. So how are you going to equip something? All right, and that's where the spell comes in. You target a face-up monster you control, an XZ monster in your graveyard, equip the monster on your field with the card from your graveyard. That's going to give it some effects here, boosting its attack and gaining an additional effect. But really, you just want to use this to trigger your Dark Knight Lancer to yoink and eat your opponent's cards. You're going to eat their card. And then, if you pass to the opponent's turn, if you can't OTK them, pass to their turn. But what you really want to do is have this in the graveyard, and then you can banish it from the graveyard, target XZ monster you control, and equip it with another XZ monster from your face-up field or graveyard, and that's going to trigger your Full Armor Dark Knight Lancer. So really, you want to discard this to the graveyard. So we're going to have ways to discard it. You can use your, if we look at our deck list again, take a look here. We got triple Forbidden Droplet to discard, and that's going to be sending this trap to the graveyard to activate its effect. Or you can use the Foolish Burial Goods to send it direct to the graveyard and activate its effect. One thing to point out though, Foolish Burial Goods obviously limited to 1 in Master Duel. Maybe Konami will free it at some point, also possible, but not, potentially not likely. But either way, I think these are going to be very powerful coming up in future meta. So, you've seen what sharks will look like in the future. What do sharks look like now? Well, let's get to the games and find out. All right, on to the games, and that's right. We're playing with Title and Adventure. Opponent going first, playing what looks like Sprites. Sprites with Runic. All right, very powerful deck list. All right, the power of Sprites, the power of Runics. We want to use our negate, our imperm that we have in the hand, to negate the Hug-In now. We would have liked to negate the rank 2 XZ, all right, that the Sprites always make, but we're not going to have the chance here. Gotta negate, stop them from searching that field spell. The Runic decks always have multiple Runic cards, and if they get the field spell, they'll be drawing additional cards and will be very sad. So would love to negate the Sprite, but we're not going to get to negate the Gigantic Sprite. We're going to have to let it happen. So Gigantic Sprite is happening. We do have a pretty solid hand. 4 going second, so we're going to have to hope we can break through the Sprite board. Opponent, Sprite blue, getting searched with his Gigantic Sprite, searching the Sprite red, Sprite starter, getting the Sprite Jet. Jet searching for the Smashers. Smashers in the hand. Don't forget about that. Sprite Elf getting summoned, blocking the Sprite red so it can't be targeted. Resummoning the Sprite Jet and linking into an IP Masquerena. You'll see this board, this IP Masquerena Sprite board. You're going to see this all over the place because Snake Eyes are doing it too. 2 set back row. We know one of these is the Sprite spell they search. All right, the Smasher is going to let them banish a card on our field. The other card could be anything, so who knows. What do we do to break this board? Well, luckily, we got the Adventure Engine. Now, people might say, hey, what are you doing playing Adventure in this deck? When you're playing Buzzsaw Shark normal summon, you can't activate a normal summon monster effect the turn you activate your Adventure. But that's fine, because all of our sharks, a lot of them, they special summon themselves for free from the hand. So not being able to activate our normal summon effect, you know, that's A-okay. Let's start by activating Ray of Mirror. If opponent negates this, then it's all good, because, you know, we can just do our shark combos. But opponent doesn't have a spell trap negate right now anyway, so let's activate, see what happens. Opponent responding with the Iperia, that's going to let them draw an additional card. This is probably a Runic card, let's be honest. All right, opponent's playing Runic. They got their Hug-In negated. Get that Fateful Adventure. Let's activate. All right, we're getting very spicy here. Water Enchantress has a secret mode nobody knows about. All right, it can banish itself to search for the Adventure card. But it also has a mode where if you control an Adventure token, you can special summon it from the hand. So we have not used our normal yet. We're going to special summon. And the special summon triggers the Fateful Adventure. That's going to search for the Equip spell. All right, now I usually do the Equip spell search first, just because it makes sense. Let's get searching. And opponent falling for the bait, negating the Equip. All right, the Equip search is not our important search. Our important search is the search for the negate. So let's activate. Draw. Normally you like to discard your Equip spell because it'll equip for free, but we got so many sharks in the hand, including Crystal Shark, which can activate in the graveyard. So let's just discard our Crystal Shark. Free discard. Don't even care. Happy to have it in the graveyard. Special summon, and now we got our negate online. Opponent, Flashing Fire, targeting a special summon monster, going to destroy it and banish cards. Let's activate the Griffin Rider. Opponent can negate. All right, they can negate with the Sprite Red. But if they do, they got to tribute one of their monsters, which means they're going to tribute the Iperia, and they won't really be able to link into anything too scary, hopefully, with just these last 2 monsters left. So let's see if opponent goes for it. We're shuffling, we're negating the Flashing Fire. All right, 1 card down. Now this we know is a banish. Opponent still has a monster negate, and they still have the IP Masquerena. So we could summon our sharks, get them banished or negated, or we could just go straight to the battle phase. Opponent, scared, we're trying to go to the battle phase, going to activate that IP Masquerena. They're forced to link it off. They don't want to give up the negate with the Sprite Red. They're scared. We haven't used our normal yet. They see, all right, maybe they saw the Crystal Shark in the graveyard. They're scared of our normal summon somehow. Sprite Red is on the field. They spin our token away. Sprite Smashers activating, banishing the Sprite Red to banish. There you go, the Water Enchantress. So opponent, we've used up our battle phase, but all they have is an unaffected by card effect or unaffected by destruction effect, Nightmare Unicorn, and this Sprite Elf, making this so it can't be targeted. Both of these have used their effects. They don't have anything in the graveyard. They got no cards in the hand. Let's shark it up. We already activated the effect of our adventure, so we can't activate Buzzsaw Shark, but we can activate Crystal Shark in the graveyard. XZ summon into the Stealth Kraken. Kraken activate, pop the Sprite Elf. And now opponent has a Nightmare Unicorn and nothing else. Let's pass the turn. Stealth Kraken is here. Opponent, go into their main phase. All right, they got one card in the hand. They probably think, I got to clear this Stealth Kraken before I do my Sprite plays, so they're going to go to battle. Opponent forgot. Their battle phase is skipped, or maybe they have nothing in the hand. Maybe it was an intentional play. They runic carded in their turn, and when you activate a runic card, you skip your next battle phase. Back to our turn. How do we out the Nightmare Unicorn? Opponent hitting us with Max C. Luckily, top deck Call by the Grave just in time. Let's get negating, because we want to special summon some monsters right now. We're going to get special summoning. Let's start. Let's start it up by getting the Fateful activate. Get that Water Enchantress. Discard the Water Enchantress. Activate. Search for the Adventure spell. You can also add the one from your graveyard to your hand in case something happens. Let's write. And we never searched for our equip spell, so let's get searching. Search for the equip spell. Attach it to the monster. Get bouncing. Opponent has nothing on the field. We got a once per turn pop. All monsters are water. Opponent taking almost 4,000 damage all the way down to 2,100. And we'll see what can sprites do. Sprites can do nothing. There is no top deck that they thought could save them. An opponent is done. That is the power of sharks. And I'm going to show you my stats at the end of this, all right? So stick around. I'll show you the stats. I'll show you all the best shark plays. Let's get on to the next game. And I forgot to say, of course, at the end of the video, I will be showing you my full shark deck list. So you'll see what the amazing power of sharks is all about. Opponent. More runics. I don't know what's going on today. Everybody's playing runics, although this looks like a more pure runic variant. Huggin getting summoned. Discarding to search for the field spell. We're going to Ash Blossom that and hope to stop them getting their one copy of the field spell, limited to one. But opponent calling by the grave. Call by the grave. Gonna negate. Alright, if you love watery sharks with tidal dragons, make sure to subscribe. We'll have more quality content in the future. Opponent getting their fountain. They got one card in the hand. It's probably a runic spell, but maybe we'll be lucky and it won't be a runic spell. Let's find out. Our stuff's getting banished. Opponent ending the turn. Alright. Back to our turn. Now, what do we do with this Tidal? Tidal, amazing card in this deck list. Not only can we use it to search adventure, we can also use it to send our sharks to the graveyard that activate and special summon themselves to the field. So this is Foolish Burial. Alright, this is copies 2, 3, 4 of Foolish Burial, which is a card that people play in sharks already. So let's start things off. Activate the Tidal. Discard the Lifeless Leaf Fish because we're going to be trying to adventure. Let's Water Enchantress in the graveyard. And you're going to see, alright, hey, what's going on? White Mirror. This is a very powerful card in sharks, and this combined with Tidal is the synergy is unreal. Alright, the synergy is unreal. You're about to find out. Let's search for that right. Activate the right. Opponent activating Smiting Storm, going to banish cards from our deck up to the number of cards we control, which is 1. So opponent banishing 1 card. Alright, what's the worst that could happen? 1 card getting banished. I'm not scared. Nothing can go wrong. Opponent banishes our 1 copy of Wandering Griffin Rider. That was the luckiest banish they could possibly have. But you know what? We're not going to quit just because opponent banished our 1 copy of Griffin Rider. We still get the token. We also are still going to get our Faithful. Opponent banishing another card off the top of our deck. Drawing 2. Not ideal, alright, but survivable. Opponent again 2. Banishing the top card of our deck. Imperm, that's fine. Let's activate White Mirror. Target the Lifeless Leaf Fish. That's going to summon it, and it's going to add another copy of the Lifeless Leaf Fish from our deck to our hand. Opponent firing off Max C. You don't like to see it, but this is what happens. Sometimes opponent gets the Max C. We summon our Lifeless Leaf Fish. We get a Lifeless Leaf Fish to the hand, and we activate the Fateful Adventure in response to the Lifeless Leaf Fish getting summoned. Search for the Dracoback, and I don't know why. All right, Lifeless Leaf Fish said it missed the timing. All right, you tell me how that works. I'm pretty sure we summoned it at the beginning of the chain, so it should have activated, but it said it didn't. Nobody knows Yu-Gi-Oh's rules. Let's activate Faithful. Opponent popping our token. Opponent really hitting the token. All right, all good. Token gets popped. We lose some more cards from the top of our deck. Abyss Shark is gone. We're going to discard that Water Enchantress to get our Rite of Erismere again, hopefully, later. Let's summon that Lifeless. Get attacking. Opponent down to 1 card left in the hand. Maxi only drew him 1 card. We got set Forbidden Droplet. We're going to hold on to this Draco back. Opponent set in 2. Skip in their battle phase. Back to our turn. All right, the right-hand Shark. A bit of a brick, but again, we can try. Get that adventure engine going. Let's get back the token. Let's summon that Stealth Kraken. Summon our right-hand Shark. Summon our Silent Angler. Bahamut it up. Now, Bahamut is a 1-card negate. Opponent just going right now. I'm going to negate the battle phase. So opponent forcing us to skip our battle phase, but that's all good. Let's summon that Black Ray Lancer and go into the Utopic Future. That's right. 2 water rank 4s. Go into the Bahamut Shark. Go into Utopic Draco Future, which is our Shark Boss replacement for Totally Awesome. Toad is better, but Utopic Draco Future is also okay. All right. Can't be destroyed by card effect. Can't be destroyed by battle. Once per turn, detach, negate, and steal a monster effect. So not an Omni negate, but a monster negate. Not the best against Runics, but it'll do. And what do we have here? Tidal activating in the graveyard. It's going to return to the hand at end of turn. Obviously, we are skipping our battle phase now. But Tidal coming back to the hand means we can Foolish Burial something else if we draw another water. Opponent set in a back row. Tidal coming back to the hand. It's our turn again. Foolish Burial. We got ×2 Foolish Burial in the hand. Let's get our token. Let's equip that Draco back. And we're going to bounce the card opponent set just now. And we're going to try and get in big damage. Bounce that card. Opponent knows whatever it was. It can't stop. It can't save them. That whatever they had left. And they are done. Sharks powering through against Runics. Let's go on to the next game. Now, if you ask me, I think Tidal is a hugely underplayed card right now. People aren't playing it. I should think of 3 of in any water deck. It's a UR. It's not in TCG or OCG. So people don't know how good it is. I think it's just been banned so long. But having 4 copies of Foolish Burial is kind of absurd. And it's not just Foolish Burial because it can summon itself from the grave. Opponent. We negate their Kashtira Unicorn. They're summoning a Tearlament's Kashtira, milling themselves, and going straight into a Baron de Fleur. All right. We had the choice of negating with the Ash, that Tearlament's Kashtira mill, but when they're playing pure Kashtira, which they probably are because they're playing Unicorn, it's okay to let it go. And you can see opponent just milled some nonsense into the graveyard. Lava Golem, triple tactics evenly. Let's start things off with an adventure. Okay, now this is a bit of a risky hand. Lifeless Leaf Fish is a instant rank 4. I'll show you how that happens later. But we can't Lifeless Leaf Fish and Rite of Erismir in the same turn unless our Rite of Erismir gets negated. So we're going to activate opponent Baron, forced to negate here. They don't want us getting the token. They don't want us bouncing the Baron, which is going to eat the negate later. So they negated, so we can activate our normal summon effect. Send to the graveyard the Crystal Shark. Opponent going to banish a card from our extra deck. Not a problem. We got 2. They banished 1 Stealth Kraken. We got another. But we don't even need Stealth Kraken right now. Crystal Shark. Activate Exy into a Silent Honor Arc. We're going to get Yoinkin. Eat the Baron. Baron has been eaten. Alright, and what does Silent Honor Arc say? Alright, it says that once per turn, if it would be destroyed by battle card effect, detach a material from it instead. So we got a little bit of protection here. Let's summon by banishing 2 our Tidal. And Tidal Banish Summon mode is very underrated, alright? I wasn't thinking that this would be the line that made Tidal so good, but this has saved me multiple times. We'll keep showing it off. Now, we actually have used our normal summon, so we can't make a rank 7 XC. I'm not playing Baron in this deck list, but something to see, alright? We could just use Ash Blossom and go into a rank or a level 10 Synchro. We aren't playing any of those, but maybe something to think about in the extra deck. Let's get in with that Unicorn. Get in on that Scareclaw Kashtira. And now we're going to rank up into the Zeus. Pass the turn to the opponent. Zeus with the wipe. Opponent's got 1 card in the hand. The Scareclaw Kashtira, not a problem. Fusion Destiny. Lucky we held that Ash Blossom. Going to negate. Haven't seen this card in so long. It's usually me who's playing it. Glad to see there are other Fusion Destiny chads out there. Opponent crashing into the Tidal. We'll stop it from returning to the hand at the end of their turn. And now it's Zeus versus the world. Drawn into Ash Blossom, not going to do anything, but if opponent tries to get frisky searching for anything, we'll get negating. Opponent, you got 2 turns left. We got 2 turn clock with the Zeus. Opponent passing, no actions. Any rank 4 would probably be fine here, but we draw into a max C. Max C fair and balanced. Gonna sit in the hand doing nothing. Opponent. Gonna pass their turn, draw their card, and end this game because they are done. Love to see it. Sharks winning again versus Cash Tiras. Let's go on to the next game. Let me know what you're playing in the Duelist Cup, and if you want to send a spicy replay of one of your Duelist Cup games, you can send it to my SimKing email address, which is in the video description. All right, now what is this hand? This hand is garbage. All right, we need 2 monsters or one of our starters to get playing, and looks like we drew both copies of Max C. I only ran 2 Max C's. Ran both of them, and Ash Blossom. All right. Running Max C mostly so that we can cross out designate Max C, because we really don't like getting Max C'd. Opponent. Negating our call by, or with call by the grave, our Max C, so we're going to negate their call by the grave with cross out. If opponent wants to summon anything, we're going to be drawing cards. And I'm doing this in their standby phase here, because when you activate in their standby phase, they can't negate Max C. Sometimes they just pass with no actions. And if not, if they're playing Cash Tier or anything, we'll be drawing the maximum number of cards. Also turns off Triple Tactics Talent because we activate in the standby phase. If you activate a monster effect in their main phase, Talents is live. So opponent, setting, scared of the Max C. Max C buying us a whole turn, draw into Ash Blossom, the perfect draw. All right, this is exactly what I wanted. This was what I wanted to see. Opponent playing Sword Soul. Sword Soul, my girl Mo Yi is here. Let's fire off Max C again and hope for the best. Ash Blossom usually pretty dead against Sword Soul unless they have their Sword Soul spell that can search for Sword Soul. We draw into the Wandering Griffin Rider, which I was thinking was great until opponent made this Draco Berserker. If we activate a monster effect, they can just banish it. So activating Griffin Rider to summon itself for free to try and block an attack. Not going to do anything here. So let's just hold him in the hand. Opponent drawn with the My Girl. We're not going to negate draw 1. Opponent again, Sword Soul Strategist. Summoning the Baron. Burning us for 12, but this is not lethal. Alright, opponent didn't summon their Tenyi. They revealed in the hand they had a Tenyi. If they just summoned that Tenyi in attack mode, then they probably could have got lethal damage. But opponent, pass in lethal. Go into our turn, and this hand, this is a spicy hand. We got Foolish Barrel to send our Adventure Engine to the graveyard so we can get Adventure in. And then we got the Forbidden Droplet, which, alright, spicy tech with the Forbidden Droplet, alright. This is important to note. When you activate a spell, in response, you can Forbidden Droplet and send the spell to get a free kind of material on your droplet. Now, we're not going to droplet yet. We're going to send the adventure, activate it, get our adventure going with the Red Varus Mirror, activate, and now we're going to get sending. Get sending, send this and a monster, and opponent, whole board would be negated. Whatever their back row was, it might have been the Sword Soul Blackout. That could have popped too, but I'm guessing it was not. Shark plays for days, plus our adventure negate would have meant we would have been pretty safe. Love to see it. Sharks does it again. On to the next game. On to the next game. We got a pretty solid hand. I guess it's an okay hand. We're going to Griffin Rider. Search for that equip spell. And luckily, because we have the Griffin Rider, we can get our negate going. By activating Faithful Adventure, we can send our Water Enchantress to the graveyard. Or we can give up on the Draco back. Alright, now this is a tactical play. Alright, I didn't want to give up Water Enchantress because I want to be able to activate my Tidal so I can get another material. Because we can't Adventure and Buzzsaw in the same turn. Probably should have discarded Evenly Matched over the Draco back, but Draco back doesn't really do that much going first. Let's discard Water Enchantress. Send to the graveyard the Crystal Shark. Get that Rite of Erismere. Activate the right. Get that Adventure Token. Summon that Crystal Shark. Exit into the Stealth Kraken, and now we got Negate. We got Pop. We got Evenly Matched. Let's see what the opponent can do. Opponent playing Snake Eyes with the Diabellstar. Now, we're going to be careful about what we do here. Hopefully, we can get a good negate with the Griffin Rider. Hoping that we can negate the Ash. So, opponent sets the Sinful Spoils. I'm like, okay, let's try and negate the Ash when they play it. But opponent forces our negate with a Raigeki. Sad to see it. Maybe they're playing my budget deck list, although budget deck does not play Diabellstar, so maybe not. Raigeki wiping our board, and I'm going to activate in response here. So I'm thinking, okay, look, there's a very small but non-zero chance that opponent just has hand traps in the hand. If we pop their Diabell Star, maybe they won't be able to activate this set card. All right, that's the dream. That's what I'm hoping for right now. You can see it going through my head. Pop that monster. Opponent, Raigeki negated. And we just got to hope they got nothing else. Opponent, oh, with the card Div Incarnate tributing our Stealth Kraken. It's very sad. If they destroyed it by battle, it was going to summon this Kraken spawns, which if they get destroyed, resummon the Stealth Kraken. So Kurakara is a bit of a threat right now. And opponent with a Snake Eyes Oak means they're going to get full combo. So we really didn't have much of a shot here. Hand didn't stack up well against the Snake Eyes, I will say. Evenly matched got cut and replaced with a negate. Would have let us negate the Snake Eyes Ash, which would drastically reduce what they can do. You know, we could send this Fateful Adventure, or we could send our token. That would have been pretty sweet. But sadly, we're going to get Snake Eyes here. Opponent's Kurakara, alright, is going to be able to summon a monster from our graveyard. Now, our Run Hope is evenly matched. If they, for some reason, wipe our Fateful and our token, and we don't die, we can evenly match their board. Problem is, we'll be doing that after, before the Div Incarnate activates. Will be a pretty effective, evenly matched. So we just gotta hope opponent doesn't make too strong of a board, and maybe if we draw a really sweet top deck, we can recover. Opponent, summoning. Not giving up, going into the Nightmare Phoenix. That's gonna discard and spin our Fateful, so if we don't die, evenly matched is live. Opponent somehow not managing to get lethal here, meaning we get to activate the evenly matched. It's gonna banish their whole board face down except one card. Of course they're keeping the Div Incarnate. That's gonna summon a monster from our graveyard, stealing the title. Title would have been pretty solid, but we do have Crystal Shark in the graveyard to activate. Title would have been the kind of the better summon, I guess, but you know, what can you do? Title is on the opponent's side of the field. We draw in a Crystal Shark, and Crystal Shark not going to be able to do too much with 2, so we can activate Crystal Shark in the graveyard. Summon itself, opponent responding with a Promethean Princess, and we really did not have an out there. Sad to say it, but that's why we cut evenly and put in some of those droplets. All right, that's why. Snake Eyes, tough deck. Let's go on to the next game. If you really hate Snake Eye, you can throw in a copy of Gozen Match into this deck. If you Gozen Match and make the Kraken, opponent's monsters are all water, so they will not be allowed to summon after their first summon. They'll be locked into water. You just got to hope you're not fighting against a water deck. Opponent summoning a Striker Dragon, getting their search on. Now, we do have an Imperm, so what do you negate against Dragon Link? I usually negate the monster that searches the Dragon Ravine field spell. I find that's like the best thing to negate for them. But opponent, they did a bit of an interesting line. All right, they summon their Rocket Tracer, and then they activate a Rocket Tracer to destroy their Boot Sector launch to get another material. If they have a Bestial in the hand, they can usually extend from here, but I'm taking a risk that maybe they don't have anything going on since they just resummoned their one Rocket Tracer, and I'm just going to try and negate this. Negate the special from the deck, negate the pop, and hope this is enough. Opponent, and that gets them. Opponent ending the turn. Sometimes you got to make them have it, all right? Sometimes you just got to make them have it. We draw into another Imperm. Let's get our adventure going. Activate Faithful, activate Right, get our token, trigger. Opponent negating the trigger, so we don't get our equip spell, but we are going to get a search here. Unfortunately, the hand is a little bit awkward. I didn't have another water to discard. I could have searched for the Water Girl and discarded the Rite of Eris Mirror. That actually might have been a better line. It would mean we don't get the Adventure negate going, but we could do some Shark plays. Pretty powerful Shark plays. I took the Adventure line because it's easier. Another great thing about this deck is Adventure, a very simple combo, and Shark XZ, very simple combo. So when you're playing in an event like this where you're playing lots of games to rank up, you're going to be doing your plays really quickly. You're not going to get as worn out. People playing Snake Eyes, I don't know how you play like a dozen Snake Eyes games in a row. Each combo takes like 10 minutes. So many clicks. Opponent firing off Boot Sector launch, trying to summon 2 Dragon Rocket monsters from their graveyard. We're going to negate that right now. I kind of feel like opponent hand might be a bit bricky. Negate the activation. Opponent talents. Pot of greed mode. We just gotta hold. We gotta hold. Opponent with the black metal dragon. We get to equip our Draco back, which will protect our token. Opponent going into the striker dragon. We're gonna hold this imperm too. Imperm negate. Opponent searching for the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Summon it by Tributant Dragon. Trying to special a dragon from the hand. We are gonna negate. Metal Dragon negated. Opponent, do you have more plays? Opponent has no plays. Attacking into the token, dealing 800 damage. Token is protected thanks to the Fateful Adventure and the equip spell. Back to our turn. Any water would have been pretty solid here because we could Abyss Shark off it, but unfortunately our Rocket token is not gonna let us summon the Abyss Shark because we got a non-water on the hand. So what do we do here? Well, we're just gonna Fateful. Get our negate back. Discard that XYZ Remora. Summon that Griffin Rider. Bounce that dragon back to the hand. And what do you know? Summon the title from the graveyard by banishing. An opponent only has 6,000 life points. Title is lethal. That's right. Title, just coming in clutch, just happened to be in the graveyard after Foolish Barrel Goodsing, is now going to let us extend into lethal damage with the Adventure Engine. Title is the boss. Let's go on to the next game. Look at the power of Title. People underrate this card. Is so underrated right now. This is my like Yu-Gi-Oh stocks, maximum stocks on the Title. Let's go on to the next game. If you're playing a water deck and haven't crafted 3 copies of Title, that's like my #1 thing. I think 3 Title goes in every water deck. Unless you, I don't even know a reason why you wouldn't do it. Unless you really don't want to play Foolish Barrel in your deck list. I think there's no reason not to play it. Now, look at that. All right, look at that play. All right, Adventure, discarding the right-hand shark lets us get right-hand shark for free. That's going to activate the Fateful. That's going to search for the Draco back. We just Silent Angler normal summon. Summon that Stealth Kraken, and this is another really powerful shark card. XZ Remora, we detach 2 materials from our Kraken. It summons itself, and then it summons 2 fish from the graveyard. That's right. 1, 2. Now we got 3 fish. Let's Bahamut Shark. Activate. And once we have our additional shark monsters, sharks are going to be so sick. We're going to have so many additional extra deck lines to go into. But right now, we're just Utopic Futuring. Going into the Draco Future. We got our Negate, Undestroyable Boy. We got our Pop. And now we Adventure. Get the token. Get token in. Token is here. And we're going to activate the Draco back. And we're going to set and we're going to pass the turn. Alright, no negate with this, but we got a monster negate with the Draco Future. We got the Pop. Opponent playing Sword Soul, summoning the Monk. Let's quickly pop that Monk of the Tenyi before it does anything. Opponent Sword Soul Emergence. Emergence getting Strategist. My Girl Mo Yi. Now, we have the option, alright, we have the option of negating the My Girl Mo Yi with the Utopic Draco Future, which would steal it, but then opponent Sword Soul Strategist. We can't negate that with an Imperm. So I'm gonna be a strategic play here. We're gonna use our Imperm. Imperm negate the My Girl Mo Yi. There's a risk that opponent could dodge if they have the Quick Play Tenyi dodge spell that summons a Tenyi instead of the My Girl Mo Yi, but take that risk and opponent doesn't have it. Strategist discarding another My Girl Mo Yi. We are gonna negate. Now it doesn't steal if it's in the hand, only if it's on the field, so that's just a negate. But opponent did discard a My Girl for that. And opponent going to battle, attacking our Undestroyable by Battle Stealth Kraken. Because it was summoned with right-hand shark as a material, it can't be destroyed by battle. How are you supposed to remember that? Alright, if you're an opponent and you're like, okay, what's going on with this card? It's got no XZ materials, but because it was summoned with the right-hand shark, it can't be destroyed by battle. Alright, that's like a gotcha moment. Opponent didn't even know. Back to our turn. Abyss Shark, we don't even need it. Let's pop that My Girl Mo Yi. Opponent losing 850 life points. Let's activate, get our Griffin Rider negate. Draco back negate. Griffin Rider negate. Summon. And that is lethal damage. 8,900 damage with the Adventure and the Utopic Future with 2 negates. Love to see it. Sword Soul defeated by Sharks. Let's go on to the next game. On to the next game. We got ourselves the White Mirror. We got the Lifeless Sea Fish. We got the Maxi. And we got the Fateful. Opponent playing Labyrinth. Chandra Gleeger. Activating to set a Labyrinth card. Lady Labyrinth gets summoned, and we're going to Max C on our own first turn. Max C to draw off this Lady. Labyrinth is an interesting deck. It doesn't usually special summon that much, so Max C usually only draw 1 or 2 cards. Max C draws into a Max C, as is tradition. Opponent set and Lady Labyrinth on the field. Risky play, alright. Now, I thought about putting Tornado Dragon into this extra deck, which lets you quick effect pop a spell trap. But it is a UR, and the extra deck's a bit packed, so I didn't put it in. So we don't have a way of popping this, but definitely an interesting thought, alright. While this Lady Labyrinth is here and they have a face down card, we can't target it or destroy it by card effects, but we can combo off, target our Xyz Remora, summon it, add a Xyz Remora to the hand, and go into Stealth Kraken. This is the line, alright. If you have white mirror and you have your Lifeless Leaffish, or if you have a way to send a monster to the graveyard, either Foolish Burial or your Tidal, you can send your 1 copy of Xyz Remora and then white mirror, summon it, get another Xyz Remora, go into Stealth Kraken, and now you're getting an additional XZ. Resummon both those fishes. Fishes get on the field. XZ summon that Bahamut Shark, get our monster negate, get our thick undestroyable boy. Rank up Black Ray Lancer. Rank up Utopic Future. Rank up the Draco Future. Opponent. We're gonna get the adventure going. Now, sadly, alright, actually, thinking about this, alright, we could adventure, alright, bounce this to the hand with the Dracoback token, and then pop this. Except we can't, because we activated a normal summon effect from the Lifeless Leaffish this turn, we cannot adventure. So that is why we did not do that, but we can set an imperm. And I'm not saying, like, you know, there's definitely some anti-synergy points where you can't adventure and activate your fish on the same turn, but overall having the option of doing both I think is so powerful. It's worth going on. It's worth doing it. Opponent flipping the Labyrinth face up before they set a back row means we can pop that Lady. That's probably a mistake on the opponent's part. I'm pretty sure they got some back row in the hand. There's the triple back row. Big mistake on that play from the opponent, but we know we take those. We take those. Evenly matched, doing nothing. Again, this is why this was replaced with a droplet, because every time I drew evenly, it was kind of like, I can't really use this. Opponent, welcome Labyrinth thing. We're going to Max C, draw some cards. Opponent firing off the big welcome in response. So we're going to draw 1 card. Opponent getting the Lady Labyrinth, returning it to the hand. Targeting our Draco Future with the pop from the Labyrinth. That is not going to do anything. This boy cannot be destroyed by card effects. Opponent summoning the Lady, giving us a card. And opponent is giving up. So sad. They realized they were done. The Lady did not trigger because it didn't see a monster going to the hand. Also, if they activated it, we were going to negate and steal anyway. Opponent just outdone by the power of Adventure Sharks. Let's go on to the next game. On to the next game. We got Adventure. We got Sharks. We got a free special summon of a shark in the hand. We got everything we can need. Let's get Adventure in. Get our negate going. Now, the reason that this is so important or so critical to deck the Adventure is because we don't have Toad. Toad Omni Negate really carries Sharks and TCG, makes it a viable deck. Without Toad, we really do need the Omni from the Adventure engine, I believe, to have this deck be viable. Griffin Rider on the field. Let's summon our Shark, get the Stealth Kraken, and now we got Negate, we got Pop. Opponent, what can you do? Opponent playing Numeron Network. Numeron Network at Numeron, and we're going to let this go. We could try and negate the Numeron field spell, but I think I'd rather just get popping. Pop that Numeron. Opponent, Minkanko, also playing Minkankos. Alright, they're attacking, hitting us for a bunch of damage. Hitting us for a little bit of damage. Baboosting. And we're going to negate that. Negate the Baboost. Opponent will not be able to deal any damage to us. They will not clear our monsters with the Numerons. They will not be big enough. Opponent, hitting a Stealth Kraken. Triggering Stealth Kraken to summon itself again. All good. We got our Kraken spawns. Acceptable. Acceptable losses. Let's get those 2 Kraken spawns. Opponent. Main phase 2. Any plays? activating a Heavenly Gate field spell. This is a Minkanko field spell. So we do have to find a way to clear this Minkanko. Luckily, we got Adventure. Adventure, really, the bounce and negate, it's just so flexible as far as answers go. Alright, let's show it off right now. Bounce the Minkanko. Opponent. Quick effect, take controlling our token. That is going to be a little annoying. It does pop our Draco back since this can only be equipped to a monster we control. That is very annoying, opponent. I will concede that that was annoying. Let's Buzzsaw Shark, get Sharkin, summon our Crystal Shark from the graveyard, go into a Nash Knight, and this is our out. Alright, this is the out to the Nini Minkanko. Alright, can't be destroyed, but can't be targeted either, I think. But it can be yoinked. Nash Knight. Attach a material, attach a face-up monster, non-target yoinkin. And let's go into the Utopic Future now. This position, alright, if we have the new Sharks, we could rank this Nash Knight up into another steal. But we don't have that. Card not out yet. Konami, start releasing those Sharks. Utopic Future's here. Let's activate, get the Draco back Griffin Rider here. Discard the Lifeless Leaf Fish. Draw a card by shuffling our fish back into the deck. Draw a nice little Max C. And get unyoinking our token. We don't want to yoink the token. We want our negates live. Negate the Diviner. And now we can summon our Griffin Rider, get our negate going. Now that we control the token again. Opponent. We got negate. We got negate. We got yoink. Alright, now a lot of people only play one yoink with the Nash Knight. But we got a second yoink because we're playing the Yoinkin Giant hand. Number 106 can be attached to Nash Knight as a material to activate its effect a second time. In addition to the Silent Honor Arc. If you want to play budget, you just play two giant hands. Opponent, got no more plays. Let's switch to battle. Let's get in for mega lethal damage, 9,400. Diviner is not going to do anything. We still got a negate with the Griffin Rider. We got a monster negate with a Draco Future, and opponent is done. Numeron's clapped. Numeron Minkanko. Even though we went first. Love to see it. Let's go on to the next game. Alright, one final game. And then we will go through the deck. And then we will go through the deck stats and performance as I ranked up. So I got all the way to rank 15. Was able to play quite a few games. Get ranked up nice and high. Haven't gone all the way, but I have no doubt that you could play Sharks and get all the way up to max duel level. And get into stage 2. Let's adventure it up. Using the title, discarding title. Now, sometimes you're going to have a bit of a clunky hand where you have the option of either going to Shark plays or the Adventure line. And like I said, the Adventure having an Omni Negate is usually the way to go. Because some decks Omni Negate does nothing. Or, sorry, some decks a pop does nothing. A Monster Negate does nothing. But the Omni is always going to be live. Opponent going into the Despia Aluber branded nonsense. So let's hope we can survive. Do have this Call by the Grave. Opponent searching for the branded spell. This will be able to stop us from negating the activation of their fusions, but looks like opponent doesn't have the branded fusion in hand. Otherwise, they would have searched that, and I'm guessing they didn't want it to get negated, so opponent just setting up for future. All right, so we made it. We lived. Now we get to Shark it up. We even still have our Omni Negate. Let's start by bouncing one of the back row to the hand, try and pressure him. Opponent, branded opening, going to activate. We are going to negate the branded opening. Stop him from searching for branded fusion. Opponent. Branded opening negated. Draco back bouncing. So now opponent has nothing left on the field. No known disruptions. Let's just search for that Griffin Rider again. Discard that Crystal Shark. Summon the Crystal Shark. And we haven't activated... See, after the first turn, all right, we got our token now. Now we can keep activating Faithful Adventure. We don't lock ourselves out of normal summon effect. So Buzzsaw Shark is live. Let's get that right hand Shark. Let's get that Stealth Kraken going. Get popping. Get the pop going. Burn opponent for 900. And what is this? That's right. Tidal in the graveyard is lethal damage. Opponent wasn't able to build a board, and we are able to punish. Opponent didn't think that we were going to get lethal, but we got lethal with the Tidal summon from the graveyard once again. Tidal in the graveyard is the hero. Love to see it. Let's go on to the deck list. All right, here is my Duelist Cup Sharks deck list. Let's go through it and we'll talk about it. 2 Max C, triple Ash Blossom, 2 Water Enchantress, now that it's unlimited to 2. We got 2 copies of XD Remora. You do need to play 2 of these if you want to search it with the White Mirror and the Foolish Burial Goods combo that I showed off in the video. We got triple Silent Angler, we got 1 Right Hand Shark, we got triple Buzzsaw, 2 copies of Lifeless Leaffish, 2 Abyss Shark. Definitely not as strong without the future support. Once you have those rank 5 water XCs, you're going to be wanting to activate Abyss Shark a lot more, so I think Abyss Shark will climb up to a 3 of, but for now only 2. 2 Crystal Sharks, great card to discard since it activates in the graveyard. Also, you can send it with your Lifeless. So yeah, all around a great card. A little annoying if you have 2 in the hand because it can't start plays on its own, but definitely you want to play 2 of them. Title I talked about a lot. You want 3 title. We got Wandering Griffin Rider, Foolish Burial Goods to get our adventure going, or it's just a free summon, all right? You got this. Send your Right Hand Shark. Send your Crystal Shark. That is a free body for your XC summons. 2 copies of White Mirror. So strong. So powerful. Special summon and search. It's a +2. We got 2 copies of Right. We got the Draco back. We got the Fateful Adventure. 2 copies of Call by the Grave. Crossout Designate. Forbidden Droplet add 2. 2 copies of Imperm in the extra Utopic Future. Draco Future. Nightmare Shark. Bahamut Shark. The Giant Hand. Full Armor Black Ray Lancer. Silent Honor Arc. 2 copies of Stealth Kragan. Kragan Spawn. We got Silent Honor Arc. We got the Nash Knight. We got the CXE Nash Knight and the Divine Arsenal Zeus. You did not get to see very in this gameplay the CXE Nash Knight and the CO101 Silent Honor Arc, but basically if we're going second and we can go into the Nash Knight, you can rank it up into the CXE and then steal an additional monster from the opponent and then go into Silent Honor Arc. Basically that's it. That's the Yoinkin line. You rank up, yoink. So powerful line, but we did not get to see it today. Hope you liked the video. Before we sign off, I got one more thing to show. Let's go on to the stats. Let's check the stats. All right, here it is. My untapped stats. Playing Sharks, 66.7% win rate. This is the number of games I played in the Duelist Cup. And look at the win rate, all right? 58% win rate. Going first, 40%. Going second, 71%. I did not realize that this was a go second deck, but maybe because of Adventure and because you kind of need 2 cards to Shark a lot of the time, going second clearly the standout way to play Sharks. So there you go. If you're playing Sharks, go second, I guess is the key. So here are the games that I played. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you liked the video, and I'll see you next time. Have a good night.